Hello everyone, welcome back to bisptrainings.com. My name is Sumit and I'm a subject matter expert in Salesforce Analytics Cloud. The topic of today's video is data transformation in Wave Analytics. So first of all, let's understand what do we mean by transformation and what are the various type of transformations available in analytics and how are we going to implement them into our system. So basically, data transformation means manipulation of data. Manipulation in terms of will be loading data based on certain conditions, will be loading augmented data, will be loading combined data into analytics, and by using that data set will be performing visualization or analysis. Transformations can be added to a data flow to extract data from Salesforce objects or datasets, transform data that contains Salesforce external data, and register dataset. Next, let's have a look that what other different type of data transformations are available in Wave Analytics. So we have got append transformation, augment, compute, expression, compute relative, delta transformation, edgemart transformation, filter transformation. And out of these six transformations, these 6 or 7 transformations, the most popular transformation will be append and augment and edgemart and filter. So in this video, we'll be going to talk about these 4 type of transformation, and we'll be going to have a look at how can we use this data transformation into our environment. So before moving on to that, let me give you a quick brief about append, augment, edgemart and filter transformation. Append is simple. While we will be appending or will be combining records from multiple data sets into a single data sets, that time we use append transformation. Augment transformation, we will be basically this will be combining columns from different data sources, different data sets. So the resulting augmented data set, it enables queries about both related input data sets. Next, we have edgemart transformation. Edgemart transformation, it gives the data flow access to an existing register data set, which can contain Salesforce data, external data, or a combination of the two data sets. And finally, we have filter transformation. Basically, this filter transformation, it removes records from an existing data sets. And here we can define the filter conditions, which helps to filter the records to retain in the data sets. So let's have a look how can we apply these 4 transformations into our org. So let me clear these things, and then I'll switch to Wave Analytics. So I switch to my Wave Analytics, and you can see we have got 2 data sets, sales data set and sales data. So I'm not going to use them. I will be going to upload a new data set. Now my first requirement will be, as you can see here, I'll show you that. So first of all, we have got a candidate object, and in this candidate object I have got 2 records, C0001, C0002, name is Peter Paul and Sumit Goel. In same manner, I have got another candidate file or data set which contains 2 more records, C0003, C0004. So I'm going to apply first of all append transformation, and in this append transformation we will be going to append this Excel data set with the Salesforce data set. So first of all, we need to load both the data sets into our org. So first I'm going to create a new data set so let's create a new data set by using Salesforce data, Salesforce candidate object. So I load the data set as candidate, and I select the fields. So the fields which will be going to add, I will be using candidate number, first name, last name, and that's all. So I'll create it. So I select 3 fields for this. If you want, we can have a look of the JSON. We can copy paste this JSON, or we can download this JSON later as well. So I click on create dataset, give this name as candidate and create this candidate data set. So by the time this candidate data set will be creating, it will be uploading, because we need to run the process manually. We need to run the data flow view. We need to start this data flow process. By the time it will be getting uploaded, I'm going to upload that CSV file as well, which contains the value. So that's the data file I will be using, candidate. So let's upload this file. It's a CSV file. From my desktop, I select candidate. There is one candidate new. I'm going to use this one, candidate one. So I select candidate and let's preview the data. So that's the data. Okay. And I give name as candidate and create data sets. So let's have a look whether data has been, both the data sets has been uploaded or not. So as you can see here, both the data sets has been uploaded successfully. We have candidate and candidate. So there are two data sets. So let me figure out which one is the updated one, or I'll do one thing. I will rename it because it will be giving same name. So there are two records. I'll just figure it out. The first name and Mike and Suzanne. So yeah, that was. So I'll going to make some changes. So let me delete this data and I will upload again. Some changes are required into it because we are not using it right now, so we can delete it. So I delete it permanently and I'm making some changes into this data set. The first thing is the column name we have, I rename it as name, and this I rename as first underscore name underscore C. It should be last underscore name underscore C, because it's a case sensitive language. So I'll just save this, and while uploading it, again create a data set, CSV, drag a file, candidate, and this time I will say, or let's give a name as new candidate and create this data set. So now we have got two separate data sets, one for candidate and another one is new candidate data sets. Now we'll be going to join them. So to append these two data sets, we'll be requiring the JSON for the candidate data flow. Then only we can join them. So to create a join to combine them, I will download a JSON for it. So I download the JSON by going to data monitor and I give name as candidate JSON. So don't worry about that. It's I'm just replacing the existing one, candidate JSON. That's the candidate JSON and that's the candidate JSON we have. So that's the updated candidate JSON that was not updated previously. So now this is our candidate JSON file. So let me open this in a Notepad Plus. So I'm just opening it in a Notepad Plus because here we can customize it easily. So I'm just going to open it and customize it. So I just drag and drop it, open it, and let me arrange it so that all of you can understand it properly. So we have this action and action. Then action is SFDC digest. Parameters, I set the parameters at fields. What are the fields we have? First field we have name, second field we have is first name, and the third field we have is last name. Object will be candidate. Then we have 10. This is the second instance for it, action, SFDC register, and the parameters are name, candidate. So alias, I'll just arrange it properly so that all of you can understand it. Source, and so that's the file. So what are we going to do is we will be going to make some changes into it. First of all, I will be going to append the data. So I will be going to append this new candidate data with this JSON, and to append it we would be requiring the alias for it. So first of all, I'll just create a new. So I have increased the font as well, and now I'm going to start a new node here. So I created a new node named as 103. So this will be a new node, and in this node we'll be going to define the because we'll be loading the data from external sources, and the external source is CSV file. So we'll be using EdgeMart as well as append. So first of all, we use EdgeMart to load the data from external sources into associated with the current data set, and then we use the append action. So I mentioned here, I set the action as action is EdgeMart action is edge mart, and parameters, I set the parameters. Now in parameters we'll be requiring the alias. So for parameters we'll be requiring alias. So for alias we should know the name of that data set which we have loaded. Now the way to know the lengths, to basically to know the alias, is we can use this link. We can go to this link wavelengths.apexp, and from here we can get the alias of that data set. So the data set here we have is new candidate and its alias is new candidate. So I just copy this alias. This is just for safety purpose, so that will be connecting, we will be associating it with the correct data. Then we'll be going to define action into it. So again I create a new node, and here in this node I will be using the append action. So I write action append. This will be appending the data, and parameters, the data will be coming from sources. So what are the sources? Sources will be 101. Basically the 101 is the Salesforce data. 101 is the Salesforce data, and 103 is the edgemart. So I want to combine 101 and 103, and it would be in double quotes, 101 and 103. It will be append. And finally I did one wrong. It should be in between this. It should go like this: fields and object. Fine. And finally this 102, which will be pointing to action SFDC register parameters candidate. So first of all I rename it, and I'll say append candidate or appended candidate, just a name, appended candidate. In same manner I just update here as well, appended candidate, and the source will be 104, because this will be joining data by using these two nodes, 101 and 103. 101 is from candidate object, and 103 is from new candidate, that is from Excel sheet, the CSV data set. Now I just wanted to check whether this script is okay or not. So I'll get back to Wave Analytics, create a sample dashboard, create a blank dashboard, and open its JSON file and paste it. And you see there is no error. It means we are doing fine. It is correct. There is no issues with this. Now this is candidate JSON. So I save this as a candidate JSON. I save this, and if you open it, it's in the same format we have customized just now. And finally we are going to upload this JSON back into our data flow view. So I upload this back into candidate JSON, open it, upload it, and done. And now I'm going to start it. So I simply click on start. So after the process completed successfully, you can see a new data has been loaded, named as appended candidate, and this data is a combined data of two data sets, new data and joint candidate. So basically this is an appended data which contains the data from which holds the data both from new candidate as well as candidate data set. If we look at the data, if I click on this data set to create a lens, it will show us that there are total number of 4 records, and if you want to group it, I can group it by first name, and you can see we have got names are coming. So 2 records are coming from Salesforce, 2 records are coming from Excel file. So that's how we can use append action to combine 2 data sets. And if we look at the JSON, in this JSON we have worked on 2 data transformation, edgemart as well as append. So edgemart is used to bring the data from external sources, and append is used to append the external data to the existing data set, to the Salesforce data set. So this is append. In similar way, instead of append, if I use augment, I want to go for augmentation. Now next example will be going to work on augmented data. So next we have data augmentation. So for this example, I will be going to use the same data set. Only thing is I'll make some changes. So let's have a look. What changes are we going to do? So as you can see here, we have a candidate data set, and if I click on candidate data set, we have got 2 records into candidate. And if I filter it based on first name. So we have two records, Peter and Sumit. So what I will be doing, I'm going to create a new CSV file, and in this CSV file I will add two columns. One is the first underscore name underscore C, or I can call it as a first underscore name underscore C, and the second column I use as a salary, or we can call it as HRA DA. I'll say HRA DA TA and salary. And first name, we'll say first name, let's say as I'm going to insert four records into. So let me insert few records, and as you can see here in this candidate, I already have two records, Peter and Sumit. So I'm just going to mention them as well, Peter, Sumit, their HRA DA TA. So I'll just add a HRA. I'll just add HRA here, something like 122, DA 45, TA 56, and salary is equal to, total of the salary is equal to sum of these three. In similar way, 123, something like this, and I'll just drag and drop this. Along with this, I'm going to create two more records, David and Mike, and I'll just give their HRA, DA, same manner 123, and we'll get the sum or salary. So what my requirement is, I would like to join these two data sets, but I want to display the first name, last name from the candidate object, and the salary. I would like to display the salary from this Excel sheet. So basically we have got two separate data sets, and we would like to join them. So to join two data sets, we'll be going to use augmentation first of all. Now in augmentation, we can join two data sets based on a common key. So first of all, I save this as a CSV file. So I save this on my desktop as a CSV formatted file. So I save this as CSV and give it name as candidate salary. So it's saved. Now I'm going to upload this data. So let me load this data first of all. So I create a new data set and select candidate salary. Before loading onto it, I want to download the JSON for the candidate. So I'll get to the data manager and I download the JSON. So I click on data flow view and download the JSON for same. So I download JSON, and let's say it names as Sales Edge ELT workflow. And if we open this Sales Edge ELT workflow, we'll have the candidate object with first name, last name, and ID. Name, first name, last name, and ID, three fields. So we'll be going to use it for augmentation. Now let's create a new data set, and I will upload that data set which is named as candidate salary, which contains first name, HRA, DA, TA, salary. So click on submit, OK, and give name as candidate cell. Create data set. So this will create a data set for us, and I'll go to lens to figure it out. It's candidate cell. So that's a candidate cell, that's the alias. Now we'll be going to open this Sales Edge workflow in Notepad++, and let me customize it like we did earlier. So this is action, then I set the parameters, fields, we have name, we have first name, we have last name, we have ID, object would be candidate. So it would be, we need to be very careful while working on this. If anything goes wrong, or if there is any syntactical error, the JSON will not get uploaded. So we should be very careful while making any changes into JSON. And now we would be doing augmentation. So for doing augmentation, first of all, we need to add a new node. So I'll give name as candidate cell. That's the name of the node. So I'll just define a new node, and in this new node I define action is equal action as edge mart, action as, because we'll be loading data from external sources. Parameters, the data would be coming from the alias. So what's the alias? We define the alias as alias, and the alias will get the alias from the lens. So the alias is candidate cell. So I just copy this alias and paste it within the brackets and remove all the trailing spaces. Then we'll be going to create one new node, and I call it as combined candidate. We can give it any name. It doesn't matter that you should give same name. You can give it any name. Here the action will be augmentation. So action will be augment, because we'll be going to augment the data. And parameters. Now we need to mention that on left side what would be the data set, on right side what would be the data set, which key will be matching which key will be used for the matching from the left to the right side data set. So I use here left, I mentioned here left, and I'll just then I write left underscore key, and left, from left I want to set as 101. So that's the, on left side we have 101 node, and on left key will be on left side we have first underscore name underscore c. So I want to map this with the key on the right side. Then one more property I use here as a relationship. So I call it as a relation. I set this as a relationship, and I set this relationship as new, or let's say joined candidate. Then on right side we would be using candidate salary. So on right side we would have candidate salary, and right key would be first underscore name underscore c. So that's the key from the right side, first underscore name underscore c. And what column we would be selecting from the right side? So I would be selecting salary. So what I'll do, I'll simple write here right underscore select, and I would be using salary column, so salary field. So this would be the key from which would be coming from the right side. So from left side it will opt both the fields, first name, last name, candidate number, and from the right side it will get the fields only from the salary, only for the matching records. So as you can see here we have two records, Peter and Sumit, and in this file we have four records, Peter, Sumit, David and Mike, but this David and Mike does not exist in our data set, in our Salesforce data set, in candidate object data set. So that's why it would be extracting data only for these two records. It will eliminate these two records. The data will not get pulled into the combined data set. So we have got combined candidate, action is equal to augment parameters, left side, right side we have candidate salary, first name and salary, and augmentation. I'll just give this name as update candidate. This also I'll give name as update candidate, and the source would be combined candidate, because their value will, so this would be performing the combination based on this data set. So I'll just save this, and we'll be going to upload this back into data flow view. So let me upload it. So let me upload back. So I click on upload, and the file is Sales Edge ELT workflow. So I select Sales Edge ELT workflow, open, upload. So it's showing an error message, the file is not a valid JSON format. As I've told you that before uploading JSON, we can always verify whether JSON is in a proper format or not. So I'll just paste it, and I'm getting an error message here. Why I'm getting error message? Because we have right key, first name underscore c. I forgot this comma. So these are small issues which we need to take care of. So I'll just miss that, save it, and let's follow the same process again. I'll upload it again, and the file uploaded successfully, done, and I will start the process. So finally you can see the process has been completed. So it's successful. Now let's go and check the dataset, whether the dataset has been created with this name, updated candidate is or not. So I'll get back and say updated candidate. So see, I have got a new dataset named as updated candidate, and when I click on it, I will be getting only 2 records, because only 2 records are matched in both the dataset. And when we group it based on, or if we simply say I click on value tables, it will show me all the data, Sumit ID, last name, candidate number, and salary. It won't displaying the records for David and Mike, because the matching records are not available in the matching records are not there in candidate object. So that's how we can perform the data augmentation in Wave Analytics. The next augmentation we'll be going to talk about, that is the filter transformation. That's the filter transformation, data transformation. In filter transformation, we'll be going to load the data based on we'll be going to load the data by applying certain filters on it. So we'll be going to use the same process. I will be uploading the data. Basically I will be using the same JSON file. Only thing is I'm going to apply one filter action onto it. So we already have appended we have already used the join dataset. At the same time, I want to apply filter onto it. So I created a new node named as filter candidate, and I'll just rename it as underscore filter candidate. And in this I want to apply action as filter, and we want to apply filter based on what? So I want to set the filter that it will upload only that record whose name is Sumit. So that's the filter I want to apply. So either we can apply filter based on this particular column or based on salary. So I'm going to upload the data based on this data. So it means it will upload only that record whose first name is equal to Sumit. So I'll just apply a filter here, and the filter name is first underscore name underscore C. EQ stands for equal, and it should be Sumit. It's a case sensitive, so make sure whatever values you will be giving, that would be a case sensitive, and the source would be combined data. So from combined data, basically on this combined data, it will apply a filter, and only after filter the data gets uploaded. So here now for this source would be filtered data. And if we want, we can have we can say updated, or I'll just rename it as filter candidate. So that we can see the difference. Filter candidate. I'll just save this, and let's upload the data back into data flow. So let's upload it, and I'll select the name as Sales Edge ELT workflow upload. No issue, it's all fine. So let's click on done and start the process, and I start the execution of it. So the process has been started. Let's go and check the process has been completed successfully or not. So if you look here, I'm getting an error message. It says that it does not have parameters. So I did a mistake here. So intentionally I did a mistake just to demonstrate you that, because we only specified action, we forgot to specify the parameter. So this will always go between parameters. So make sure that the content which you will be writing, that is proper, otherwise it won't allow you to upload the records, it won't allow you to upload the JSON, or the process will fail always. So let's run the process again. I'll just upload the file again, select Sales Edge, upload, and done, and I again start the process. So now you can see I've got a confirmation message. Data has been successfully uploaded and the data set has been created successfully. Let's go and check. So I'll get back to my data set. I close all the lenses, data set and all, and you can see we have got a new data set which is named as, we have updated one. What's the name we give? We give a name as filtered candidate. It's not coming, so I'll go to all and I'll just refresh the data set. So we have got filter candidate. Now the updated candidate we did, or the appended one, it was appended the common records. Updated one, it was only showing the two records, the common records, along with the salary column. And if I look at the filter candidate, in filter candidate we have only one record, because I mentioned that it should be, I'd applied a filter that the first name equals to Sumit, so it's uploaded only the data whose name is equals to Sumit. It didn't upload the rest of the data set. So that's how we can apply the filter data transformation on the data on a wave analytics. So that's how we can use the various data transformations on a wave analytics. That's all in this video. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button. You can post your comments in comment box. If you have any queries, you can write to us or you can get back to us on the customized training on wave analytics. Keep watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.